Good morning. I'm Andy Myers at Weiss Research.
I'm Jen Amos, and this is your morning market alert for Friday, July 22nd. It looks like stocks on Wall Street may build on yesterday's gains, as investors grow more optimistic about the debt situation in both the United States and Europe. Yesterday, Eurozone leaders agreed to a second bailout package for Greece, worth 159 billion euros, or about $230 billion. The deal also allows the Euro Rescue Fund to buy debt across nations, aid troubled banks, and offer credit lines to repel speculators. Those moves are designed to stop the spread of the debt crisis to other nations, especially Italy and Spain. This morning, the credit markets are responding to the deal. The yield on Greece's 2-year government bond is dropping to about 27%, from over 40% yesterday. And the yields on Italian and Spanish bonds are falling further below 6%.
Debt is also on the minds of U.S. investors as the White House and Congress continue to work towards a deal on raising the government's borrowing limit. Both the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal reported that President Obama and House Speaker John Boehner were starting to close in on a major budget deal. The Journal said the package under discussion would include about $3 trillion in spending cuts over 10 years, along with roughly $1 trillion in additional revenue by overhauling the tax code. Both sides have denied the reports and say there is no agreement yet. The news is helping the dollar gain ground against other major currencies this morning, including the euro. The dollar's strength is helping to boost gold prices back up near $1,600 an ounce, and crude oil is holding steady around $99 a barrel.
It's another big day on the earnings calendar, with 4 members of the Dow Jones Industrial Average out with their quarterly results. Topping the list is General Electric. It reported a 21% increase in its second quarter net income, but revenue dipped by 3.5%. Both the top line and bottom line numbers beat expectations, and GE shares are gaining nearly 2% in the pre-market. McDonald's is also set to open higher, after it topped estimates with a 15% increase in profit. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Caterpillar. It's tumbling 6% after its profit and sales numbers missed Wall Street forecasts. The heavy machinery maker also raised its outlook for the full year and said demand is improving around the world, but it doesn't seem to be enough for investors. And shares of Verizon are relatively flat in the pre-market. The telecom giant swung to a second quarter profit, compared with a loss of more than $1 billion in the same period last year.
After yesterday's closing bell, another Dow component reported its quarterly numbers. Net income at Microsoft rose 30%, beating expectations, and revenue increased by 8%. The gains came despite a slight decline in sales of Microsoft's Windows operating system software. Strong demand for the company's business technology and video game consoles helped pick up the slack. However, shares of Microsoft are set to open about 1% lower. Elsewhere in the technology sector, chipmaker Advanced Micro Devices is soaring nearly 9% after its profit came in slightly above estimates. SanDisk also topped expectations, thanks to strong demand for its flash memory products. That stock is gaining 3% in the pre-market. And finally, keep an eye on shares of Hewlett-Packard today. The firm said in a regulatory filing that its board approved a further $10 billion for stock repurchases. That's the latest from Weiss Research. We'll be back after the opening bell with all the market reaction.